There's some more exclusive news that's coming through. Plans to revive the hydropower sector have been in the works for the past 4 years. But CNBC TV18 now learned that the government has finalized a cabinet note aimed at getting states to go in for hydropower. The Power Ministry, though, feels that states may not agree to a few of the proposed measures. Anshu Sharma is here with the details. Anshu.
Let me quickly summarize that the draft hydro policy which the government has brought in has sought categorizing of large hydro projects as renewable energy so that it can enjoy the benefits of renewable. The other idea which is part of the cabinet note is to increase the loan tenure for hydro projects and provide no free power, that is around 12% of generation for 5 years to the states where these power projects of hydro are. Now, sources add that R.K. Singh, Power Minister, in an industry meet recently said that states where hydro projects are have objected to letting go of the free power provisions. He also mentioned that Ministry of Power will be writing to Reserve Bank of India and Department of Banking and will seek ways to increase loan tenure and longer duration for depreciation for the hydro projects since hydro projects have a longer life compared to other sources of energy. Remember, about 12% of power generated from hydro in the state where these generations are happening is given to the state where the generation is happening. Power Minister also stressed on the fact that hydro-based power is crucial to balance the increasing renewable energy availability in the system. Remember, 13% of India's total power capacity is constituted by hydro. For now, we'll have to wait and watch out as to when will the hydro policy see the light of the day. Back to you.
Thanks a lot, Anshu, for that. While the Nifty is off the highs of the day, we're seeing some correction in a lot of these PSU banks. SBI should come up for you off the highs of the day out there as well. But private sector corporate lenders doing fairly well. ICICI Bank up around 2.5% from the lows, currently trading at the high point of today's trading range. In fact, at one point it was also in the red. But let's address the flashes that there were with regards to the RBI governor meeting with the public sector banks. Ritu is here. Ritu, what transpired at that meeting?
Well, you know, Mangalam, it's really a follow-up of the last meeting that the newly appointed governor held with the heads of Mumbai-based public sector banks. And today it was a follow-up meeting with the heads of other public sector banks that are based outside of Mumbai. So you had Punjab National Bank, Allahabad Bank, UCO Bank, Syndicate, Vijaya, Andhra, etc., all of whom were present at the meeting today. And really very similar issues were brought up. For instance, the bankers that we spoke to indicated that the governor really wanted to get a sense of the issues surrounding the financial sector and get feedback from the bankers on specific things. For instance, prompt corrective action norms is something that was obviously brought up by several of the bankers present, given that many of these public sector banks are currently under PCA. But of course, just like the last time around, no indication was given by the governor just yet on what the RBI's thinking was when it comes to tweaking those PCA norms. Also, issues surrounding liquidity, extending credit to the MSME sector, concerns surrounding the FEP12 circular on bad loans. All of these were brought up in today's discussion, but the important feedback really is the friendly and the consultative approach that the new RBI governor is really adopting in giving a listening ear to these banks, and that is something that they've all been very pleased about. Now, we do understand this will also be followed up by a meeting with the private sector banks very shortly.
All right, Ritu, thanks a lot for that. Trust you to tell us what transpires at the private sector meeting as well. But meanwhile, just watch out for the IT stocks. I saw a flash which said that the rupee has erased all the gains and it's currently closing in towards the lower end of today's trading range, around 70.3 to the dollar. There we have it on the rupee. And the IT stocks, as a result of that, have moved higher. Wipro, for one, has moved to the high point of the day. TCS has recovered about half a percent. And we have Tech Mahindra too, which has recovered about 1.5% from the lows of the day. With that, we move on to another query. We have Mr. Jagannathan Sridharan, who calls us from Chennai with a query. Mr. Jagannathan, hi, good afternoon. All right, it's an SMS. Okay. He has investment in Vodafone Idea, 1,000 shares at 34. Rajat, Vodafone Idea, it is held around that 30 to 35 zone for a while. He's bought it at 34. What would you recommend?
Well, for a short-term investor, the target should be 39.40. But if it were to reach to that level, definitely one should seek an exit, because this stock doesn't have that much of strength to actually cross that resistance zone between 39 and 42. So my suggestion would be, if he were to get that kind of appreciation, definitely he should seek an exit.
Mr. Chokalangam, what's your suggestion?
I firmly believe that the margin pressure in the mobile telecom industry would continue even beyond a year. So he is unlikely to make money in the 1 to 2 years. But if he is willing to wait beyond 2 years, one can definitely hold on to it.